Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, good.
Okay, and we are live. Hello, hello. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. I I just did another rookie mistake. Sorry. Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks for viewing. Today we have a good friend of mine, Mehedi, who is with MyCash Online, and I've seen this startup grow for a very long time. I think probably the first time I met him when he was pitching something to DG on migrant workers streaming. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe 2015, five
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah. So,
So, do you want to explain what is My Cash Online, and just share with the community what you are working on, and also one of the reasons why we got you here is because we are going to talk a lot about migrant workers and their situation over in COVID-19, whether that directly or indirectly affect your business. So, not I mean in the business in for community, but let's it's something usually unseen in the whole in terms of most eco system.
yeah. Okay. So, I think those who doesn't know me. So, my name is Mehedi. So, I'm the founder of MyCash Online. So, before we started MyCash Online in 2015, I started my entrepreneurship journey. So first we try to build I'm a migrant myself, so I thought that I understand the migrant community better actually and their needs. So in 2015 we started to build a music streaming app for them with the content from their home countries, and pretty much we survived a few months. We kept some small amount of money. Watchtower and friend actually they invested. They actually guided us, Sam and Cash. Then we were doing quite well. We got some funding from Credel also, and then it was doing well. But soon we realized that the content business is not going anywhere because of the payment issue. Because especially the migrant worker don't have bank account, don't have credit card, so they cannot pay. Actually, they want to buy content, but they cannot pay actually. So then we started to actually think how to make it different. So we actually move our focus, still working with the migrant community, and but we started to offer them a marketplace, so where they can actually have a lot of other things, and like mobile top-ups to even content to anything they want actually. And eventually we started to selling bus ticket, airline ticket, mobile internet packages, SIM card, even groceries, even some with some partners we used to do did some remittances also with some partners, and all these things actually. And we have in Malaysia especially, we have around 90,000 customers now, and we do around 3 million US dollar
Hmm.
worth of transaction a month actually. And so last 5 years actually, we started MyCash in April 2016. So it's just four
Hmm.
years actually, 5 days. So and we have now almost 100,000 customers in Malaysia and Singapore. Singapore we have around 5,000 customers, but we're still selling mainly mobile top up to them, and we almost secured a remittance license, and hopefully by June we'll be up and running with our remittance services in Singapore. Uh, and then later in the stages, we also have a small operation in Australia based in Brisbane. So
Hmm.
this is actually also we are targeting the migrant there and help giving them full online remittance services. But Australian remittance market is not very big actually, especially for this part of the world, because they are mainly to Europe and America actually. So, but Asian, very less people, and those who are from Bangladesh or India, those who are staying there, they are either PR or Australian citizen, so they don't send money home anymore.
Yeah.
Rather actually buy house, buy bungalows, all these things. So that's the thing. We still are trying to keep fighting in the Middle East. So one of the target market for us, Saudi Arabia and Dubai, UAE, next couple of years. So maybe next year, early next year, we are planning to go there. But But the things now is actually a little bit shaky, everything for this COVID-19 actually. So
Yeah, before we move into the topic at hand, I also just want to get the audience to understand, like, when you came to Malaysia, and like, how was the situation? Like, what were the problems when you first came to Malaysia?
oh, okay. I came to Malaysia in 2007, actually. So it's almost 13 years. So I came to as a student. So I studied computer science in EPIT in Bukit Jalil. So I think that's quite it's a good college for IT. So and I studied there. And after graduation, I started working as a software engineer. I worked for a few companies actually, and then in 2015 I resigned. 2015 October I resigned and started to doing my own things actually. And yep, is and so when how was Malaysia? It's like when I came here, actually, I've seen there is a lot of migrant workers here. There, I think it's around 3 to 5 million of them still in Malaysia, and these people are normally they're sidelines from the, especially from the financial institutes actually. So they need something. So that's why actually it's my cash. So one of the things, like for example, in Singapore, when you present it to MIS, they're asking that why need MyCash in Singapore, because we have all the like TransferWise, Starem, and all these high class remittance apps actually. So that so our explanation was actually, in Singapore especially, same goes in Malaysia. So there is a lot of expats actually. So the expats, their salary, like for example, the Citibank CEO in Singapore, he's expert. So his salary is 50,000 Sing dollar. But I'm talking about the maid, the maid who works from Myanmar, from Indonesia, or Philippines. They work as a foreign domestic worker in the houses in Singapore. Their average salary is $600 to $800 only.
Yeah,
So you cannot actually give a same app, TransferWise or Revolut or Instagram, to the guy who earns $30,000 40,000 and who earns $600. That doesn't make sense actually, because the two of them have different idea of remittance actually. The guy who earns 40,000, he want to send larger amount of money, and
yeah,
he doesn't care about rate that much, but he care about like also he for him it's not urgent. The money goes after 3 working days. Like for example, most of the remittance app doesn't work in the weekends, but for us actually, my customers, they want to send money in the weekends actually, or after working hours, because that time they are free only actually. So that's how it different actually. So these two segments, these two customer base is totally different. No, so that's why our app is, for the people who earn $600 to $800. And if you like, if you are expert, so your expectation like, if you will be very happy if we offer you a free lounge access in Changi Airport. But if
yeah,
you are a $400 or $600 person, you will want the cheapest rate actually. So if I give you a discount $5, you'll be more than happy. You don't need a, you don't know what is lounge and you don't want to go there. You don't want a Starbucks voucher. You want five ringgit discount actually. So that's why I believe that that app, what we're doing is totally different than TransferWise or any other apps actually, because their segments is different, the way it works is different, and everything is different actually, because most of the, even I will use some of this app, and I saw that the money actually goes 2 to 3 days, 3 working days. So but we want to change that. For example, like for Bangladesh or Indonesia, we have actually instant remittance actually.
yeah,
So if you send within a minute, it will go there. It will reach the destination. It's not only that. For example, if you think about for example, Bangladesh actually. Why we are talking about Bangladesh a lot, because there's a lot of Bangladeshi migrants in Malaysia, in Singapore, even in the Middle East actually, and
yeah,
they are really very way behind than Indonesians or Filipinos. Is because the banking penetration in Bangladesh is only 17%. So very less Bangladeshi people, adult actually has a bank account, and this
Yeah.
bank account means a bank account with checkbook, or you do not have. We don't have ATM machines in the kampong areas.
Yeah.
The ATM machines is only for the big cities and bigger cities and towns actually. So people, they never use ATM machine. They don't know what is ATM or CDM machine. So for them, bank is you go there, bring a check, wait, and then they wait for queue, go to the counter, they give you money, come back home. So these were banks. So and it was like still now if you still have a bank account, money goes after 2 3 days normally, and this time goes in. So the mobile money in Bangladesh is booming for last few years. Like Bikash, Rocket, and few others, they're doing extremely well. Almost every adult they have actually a Bikash account, for example.
Yeah.
Bikash is now owned by Alibaba, Alipay actually. So they're not fully owned, but they're partially owned by them. So it's like it's a Jack Ma Ampere type of thing. So they want to do the same thing what Alipay do in China, exactly same thing in Bangladesh is possible now with Bikash. You can actually pay your rental, you can pay your anything. We don't need to go to bank anymore. So we had actually we secured a deal with the Bank Asia, one of the leading bank in Bangladesh, to connect with Bikash the direct APIs. We got approval from Central Bank of Bangladesh last month actually.
Okay.
So with that actually now we can send instant money from MyCash app when available in Singapore, I think in June. So you'll be able to send money directly, just one click. You send from here, it will be there, just a click, and it's 24/7, 365 a day. So that's how we are actually bringing convenience. We're redefining the remittance services. So it is always instant. You can do it from the dormitory. So another selling point, especially in both in Malaysia and Singapore. So we are bringing services to your home. Like some of the big companies, like for example Western Union or Money Match, it's not Money Match, Merchant Trade. So they're
Yeah.
doing very well in Malaysia, definitely. But you need to go to them actually, go to their branches to get the services. So for example, if you think about in Singapore, this FW from domestic worker, they give only Sunday the holidays. So that Sunday, you should take rest. You shouldn't go to the Lucky Plaza and queue the whole day to send money.
Yeah.
So we will actually remove that. So you can actually just from your dormitories, just few click, you can send money, then relax Sunday actually. So enjoy your holiday, you enjoy your off day. So that's how we are, changing your life. We are enhancing your life. And one thing we saw this after this COVID, that everybody's saying the COVID is very badly affecting their business. It is true, it's affecting us also. We are losing our customers, our sales a bit, but we are losing our sales a bit, but we are getting more customers. So, for example, every day now in Malaysia, especially, we are getting few thousand customers onboarding to MyCash. Because of last time, they're not so willing to join because their mindset, because most of them they came from either Bangladesh or Indonesia or Nepal, so they are not into this type of app yet. So they want like the cash to keep on their pockets, inside the
Yeah.
pocket or under the pillow, and it works in their way. So when this virus actually the MCO came into effect in Malaysia, so they cannot go out anymore, but they have money. So they start to go to the bank and deposit to our account, and then from there they start to buying top ups. So we got very 29% more sales of mobile top up last month in March actually, and it looks it will be more in April. So actually people are forced to use, because last time they go to 7-Eleven or Kedarunchi to buy the top ups. Now they cannot go actually, so they're using apps. And actually, the positive things is this thing actually giving them confidence. Oh, okay, this apps is not cheating me actually, so I can believe them. And then slowly, slowly, I believe they will start to using other services. for example, remittance, or for example, our ticketing or our e-commerce stuffs, all these things. So that's our hope actually. So, but the initial thing, because they are using remittance is using the top up is 10 ringgit, 50 ringgit, smaller amount, so they can actually test us how it goes actually. Is it we're cheating them or not? So something like that. So the adaptations are increasing during this bad time also. So that's a good thing for us actually.
Yeah, because also they don't have a lot of money, so they're always very uh, how to say, conservative in terms of trying.
Yeah, of
You know,
course, of course, of course. Yeah, they feel scared actually. So that, and that is another thing. Another thing is like they get cheated very often by other people's actually. So in because like this, I have a lot of stories like they work in plantation. So somebody came with a bike and say, "You want to send money? Give to me. I'll go to town and sell for you," and he never come back actually. So there are a lot of stories like that actually. So
no, it's really sad to actually hear some of the stories and in terms of how they get exploited and also and throughout this whole COVID-19 situation, there is a lot of things that is happening around the migrant worker community that is not known. Can you share some of the stuff? And also, you did mention the how big is the population in, for example, Malaysia and Singapore? How many people are we talking about?
Okay, so in Singapore, there is, if you think about expats and foreigners, there is 1 million of them, actually, 1 million foreigners total, including expats, foreign domestic worker, and foreign workers, actually, these three chunks. So I think like around 500, 400,000 people are the foreign workers, those who are working in the shipyard, constructions, and on all these things. And majority is from them are either from Bangladesh or Philippines or Indonesia and Nepal and India. These five countries. Same goes in Malaysia. So Malaysia official figures, I think 3 million, around 3 million, but people say there is around 5 million of them actually of the migrants, and this majority of them is from these five countries: Bangladesh, India, and Nepal, Philippines, and Indonesia actually. So the similar types of people and both the countries. So how the COVID is affecting? For example, if you see the newspaper last night, Singapore actually suddenly got 120 new cases, and
Yeah.
I think more than half of them are foreigners actually. So and I think only 39 is Singaporean or PR. The
Yeah.
rest is foreign workers actually. So in Singapore, this migrant worker they stay in the dormitories. So in a room there is around 12 to 14 people stay in a small room. So it's where there is no social distance there actually. So it's a community living, and that actually I think is now going out of control a bit because there are so many of them. Like I saw one dormitory is now they are isolated already. It's got 20,000
Yeah.
people actually inside that actually. So that is very bad. Like if all those people become sick, you don't have enough hospital bed to treat them actually. So that's one of the problems. So for this COVID actually, I think same goes in Malaysia also. There's a lot of especially Rohingyas actually. They went to the Tabligh Jamaat in Sripatali Mosque actually, and now I think government is trying very hard to track them down actually because they are most of them are they don't have even a physical address. They stay today is Slang Market, tomorrow is in Pasar Borong, Selangor, and then next day in Nilai. So it's something like that actually. So this is one of the problem I feel because they do not actually follow the health the precautions or all this good health practice that we are trying to force them.
Mhm.
So sometimes they're ignorance actually, and sometimes they cannot actually afford to do that, maybe because they need to save money, so they stay in small places, and then the cleanliness, all these things. So even we are also trying to, if you go to our Facebook page, you see that every day we post a lot of things to actually teach them. Tell them, you don't do that, you keep a distance from your friend, do not eat together, wash your hands, do not split on the road or all these things. So we're trying to actually educate them and telling them this to do these things. So I think slowly should be there actually, but it will take some time.
it's a very sizable community, and also at the same time, they are also very isolated and segregated, basically, because they don't. They interact a lot with their own, even like for example, the Bangladeshi will interact a lot with the Bangladeshi and so on. There's a lot of the, and I heard like horror situation, like for example, 20 people will be staying in a three-room apartment, also like in terms of their over in Malaysia. Yeah, is that still happening, or is over
Yeah,
in?
yeah, definitely, definitely. Actually, this is actually most of the time they earn the salaries are not very high, so that's why they forced to do that actually. So one of the things I think in Malaysia also now government is building a lot of dormitories for the dedicated housing for the migrant workers. I saw in Johor, especially the Westlight and few others that I visited some of them. So I think that is maybe the good thing. And some of the actually employers like Hatta Lega, for example,
Yeah,
the groups company. So they have in Sepang, they have a very big community dormitories. So these type of places are necessity actually. So I think because I saw that that places are very quite clean actually, very clean, and they have rooms, toilets, all are daily cleaned by people. So I think because currently some people because there's lack of regulations, so let's say maybe people are still staying in a normal apartment or shop lot and without any health visit or anything, but it should be stopped actually, should need to be stopped actually, so that actually you can contain them a certain way and teach them also, because they don't know sometimes they want to save money. This is very normal, everybody wants to save money actually. So but if we can provide them some alternative places, that instead of staying 20 people in a small apartment, why don't you stay in your company dormitories where you can actually don't need to travel actually. It's just downstairs of your workplace. You can walk there. You have like a place to cook, a place to buy things. So they will actually do that. So the employers need to come out with this type of solution actually. For example, I think in Singapore, but if you're a foreign worker, work pass holder, you
yeah,
cannot stay in the. You must stay in dormitories actually.
yeah.
You cannot rent a HDB flat or condo by yourself actually. So there's things are happening. So people in Malaysia, I think we also need to do that actually, to teach them or to maybe something force them to live in places, the dormitories, and then we force the employer to provide them better services in the dormitories, better cleanliness, better better facilities, so that it's win-win for both. So the government also, they can then not get exposed to this type of situation.
There are also a chunk of the migrant workers who are out there basically that are getting like hourly wages, and so like this during this whole restricted movement MCO, they are not getting paid, and
Yeah, they're
like
not getting paid. Yes, yes, yes. They're
is
not
there
earning anything. Yeah.
like how are they how I don't know how are they going to survive, and is there anything that the community can come and help out?
Yeah, so that's why we actually get in touch with many people. Like yesterday, I got a call from one guy. He said they don't have money to eat, so they actually sold their mobile phone to somebody else to buy some food. So so these things are happening. So some of them, they're not getting salaries. So some of the places the employers are good. What they're doing, they're asking the neighborhood kedarunchi or something like you can actually buy things from there on credit. I'll pay them later. And some of the employers actually they're paying some basic fees, like at least the basic salaries, and for the employers. But some actually do not have anything, because the employers also, they say that I'm bankrupt already, I cannot help you as you are on your own. So there is some employers, so you cannot actually blame the employers also. If you are like if you have a small canteen or cafeteria with five foreign workers, and it's closed for last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, how you
Yeah.
want to pay the salaries? You don't have money also. So we are not blaming the employers also, but the truth thing is maybe government need to give some relief actually. Like for example, some basic things like maybe rice and little bit like a little bit something they can eat at least rice, potato, this sort of thing. They can actually and give them this sort of things. So then actually they can actually survive this bad time actually. So one of the things we are trying to do for migrant workers, we are raising some funding through pitching reward platform. So yeah, this one. So we are trying to raise we raised some 2,000 ringgit already. So we are trying to raise few more actually, so that we can actually. So what we are trying to do, I know that we cannot raise a lot of money so that I can buy like trucks of rice and give to them. So instead of doing that, we are helping them to send money free to their home. Why home? Because this migrant worker who works in Malaysia or Singapore, he got a big family back home to feed.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe 10, 15 people depend on this guy. So if this guy cannot send money, they're not eating anything. So that is the thing. So we are trying to actually help them, to give them some little bit chunk of donation. So my target is to reach as many as people we can, and help them so that they can actually send money to home, and then actually their families can buy some necessities. Also on behalf of MyCash, we did some donations in Bangladesh, especially because our majority customers are from Bangladesh. So we distributed some basic necessities, rice, oils, potatoes, and dals in some the rural areas, and give some. We donated to 25 families already last couple of days, so that they can actually survive 1 week with that food actually. We are planning to do more, and we need help from the community, from the people, so that actually we can together. I know everybody is in bad positions. Everybody is in. I know. You guys want to do more, but you cannot do at this moment. But it's still, if you can donate us 5 ringgit or 10 ringgit, that actually can help. That can actually bring some food to the table of 15 people or 10 people actually. So please help us as a small amount you can, as big amount you can. Is actually anything is we accept anything you can, and help us, and we help these migrant workers and in this difficult time, and their families back home.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like as much as these are essentially the backbone of our ecosystem, or in terms of the economy, because a lot of them are in the work line that are doing work that Malaysians might not be doing at the point of time. So like, these are people that have been serving our community quite a fair
Mm.
bit. So it's the least we can do. I mean, if you can afford to spare a few ringgit or there, that would be great to actually help them out, and especially because we are all in this together in the long haul, basically. So before I let you go, I want to also know like what are the sentiments over the migrant workers, like how are they feeling, and how are they taking this whole situation?
I think they're very scared actually. So most of them, they know that they might be losing job actually. Around 70 to 80% are in verge of losing their job actually. So if the government actually help the SMEs, small, because migrants, those who are working in the big companies like Hattalega or Sunway Groups, all these things, they're okay. They're getting their basic salaries. So I'm talking about the migrants, those who work in the Kedarunchi, or those who work in the in your barber shop, or your the neighborhood small shops or small businesses, like small. So we need to help these businesses to survive first actually. So if the government give them some benefits or some loans or some donations to these SMEs, the small businesses, eventually they will actually come down. This money will come down to these migrant workers. They will maybe there will be some salary cut, but still they will get some salaries, and then they can survive. So I think it's crucial at this moment to help these SMEs, because they're the backbone of Malaysia. Even Malaysia, even in Singapore also, the SMEs are contributing a lot to the society. So So we need to actually help them. We need to buy things from the small shops actually. So like for example in Singapore, we do actually, instead of we don't go to fair price or all these big shops that much. We try to go to downstairs our home and buy the eggs or vegetables from there, because we need to have these people actually. If these guys goes out of business, there is an effect for the society, you know. So we need to do that actually. We need to have the smaller shops, the smaller business
Yeah.
to survive, and then it will come to come to everybody actually. So because it's not like like, oh, we cannot expect like government will give everybody bonus, everybody money. It shouldn't be like that way. It should be in a productive way. Help help these SMEs to survive. Those who have small, and this I know so many SMEs, they have like 5, 10 migrant workers actually, and then they will survive. Like, for example, the one company I know very well in KL, they service aircon. So
Mhm.
the owner is a Chinese guy. He got 5 Bangladeshi workers. So now he don't have any work for last 3 weeks actually. So he cannot pay salaries. Normally if you clean aircon, you get money. Nobody pay you retainer fees or anything. So we need to actually give them some loan or some financial benefits so that he can actually survive next 2 to 3 months actually, because next 2 3 months everybody will have less money. So maybe people will defer their cleaning aircon a bit. I don't need to do this month, I'll do next month. So if they do that actually, so there is no job for him, and then his family is also in trouble, and these foreign workers, they are also in problem actually. So we need to be considerable a bit actually. We need to consider this thing, and look after the people around us, to help each other, so that actually we build we overcome these things together actually. So for example, what we are doing actually, we have slashed every prices in our system. Actually, we're giving them 5 to 4% discount for everything we sell in market platform from 1st of April actually for next 3 months, because we want to help a bit. I cannot give them free because I have a lot of cost and all these things. So I'm trying to give them I'm not making profit this 3 month, and I'm giving them a bit, what is possible for me. So we hope that all the people will come out like this and help each other, help us, help other people, so we can work together and overcome this.
And if you're an entrepreneur and you have migrant workers in your company, I feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out to the folks that actually for MyCash Online, and I think there's also a lot of good NGOs that are volunteers that are doing their part to help, and so that is actually a good thing that's happening. But
Yeah.
before we let you off, any advice, anything that you want to share?
One thing I think is, I know it's a challenging time ahead for us actually, next 2 3 months. So I'll be requesting all the people like here, the community, those who have foreign workers in their companies, please do not lay off them actually. Support them, keep them a bit. I know this is challenging for you also, but if you just let them go, their families to feed actually back home. So if you just fire them or to lay off them, they don't have any money to send home, so their families will be very badly affected. So please, I know this is difficult for you guys also, but just help them a bit. So together we'll build something, and to be, inshallah, it will be solved. It will be in the next 3 to 4 months. Everything will be normal. Everything will be fine. Yeah,
Yep.
because,
We
yeah.
we need to look after for each other at this point.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We need to look after each other. Okay, thanks, Daniel, for these opportunities and arranging this. You're doing a good job for the community also. So keep it
No,
going.
thank you. I would like to hear more. Hope you can update what are the situation and how they're done. I will actually share the link over on the comments and in the groups. And
Appreciate.
if you can, please support that. And if you have, as what Mehdi said, if you have migrant workers, as much as possible, try to hold on to them and try to like at least pay them something to survive, because there are a lot of mouths to feed and a lot of people that we can try to help in every our small way. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. You take care, man.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. Take care.
Stay safe. Bye.
Okay, sure.